And we're back with On the Record with Tiffany. This is going to be a hairy one,
And
y'all.
Kevin. All right. We're about to bring the heat on this one, okay? So
you trying to bring the heat. You trying.
So, Tiffany, this
Yes.
is a debate at the house that we've been discussing, right? Why are so many black people, B1, foundational black people in general, not happy with Joe Biden? Let's have this discussion.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
I'm a political firebrand and I say stuff, so I'm just going to say it. This is
You
my
are a
personal
bomb
opinion,
thrower.
and
What
they're
is
not
what do you want?
necessarily the opinions
What do you want?
of neither. I think a lot of black people are not happy with Joe Biden because they feel that younger people, so the millennial crowd, they feel that that he incarcerated or was involved with incarceration and destruction of the black community. Now, I think those people weren't living during those times, so they didn't understand the power that crack had in the communities that it was coming into.
How devastating it was.
It was very devastating, and it's also easier to make decisions to go back in and look back and go, oh, it should have been this, that.
Yeah, hindsight is
right?
20/20.
Hindsight is 20/20. So that's one group of people. Two, you have another group of people such as myself who are like, okay, what has he done necessarily for black people per se? Right? They're not feeling the love for Mr. Biden, right? And this is the viewpoint that I get, that everybody else gets a special day, right? You have an Asian law, you have all these different things that specifically identify people, right? But you don't feel that for black people aren't feeling that. Now I'm not saying I necessarily agree with that, but that's part of the reasons why you see a lot of people not really showing much love to Joe Biden and necessarily the Democratic Party. And so a lot of people just opting out not to vote, which I think is foolish, right? I think if you're in Texas, you need to join the winning team, which right now is a Republican team. I'm not saying we want to go and vote Republican. We want to participate with the Republican Party is what I'm saying. Because if you vote after the fact that the candidate's already been chosen, decision's already been made. You only have one of two or three decisions to be made. But if you participate in the party, right?
In the primary races, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, in the primary, and not just the primary, but become active in the party so you can sit down at the decision-making table when they're
and have
deciding.
your thoughts heard.
And have your thoughts heard. Because right now, the Republican Party in Texas, I know a lot of people are going to be mad at me, right? In Texas, the Republican Party is the winning team. The Republican Party, they organize, they strategize, they do what it takes to win, right? And so why not, as an African American, be on that team? Historically, if this was 1870, 1890, we would have all been Republicans up until about the 50s or so. What's your comeback to that, Ms. Smith?
Well, I don't know that all of your postulations here are correct. But I will say this. These are the things that the Republican Party has historically stood for.
Okay.
Now, that is freedom,
Okay.
opportunity, growth, and progress. If those things, if we can see the party sway back to those things, because that's not what we stand for right now. Right now, we are digging into whatever is the issue that we have talking points on. We're digging into talking points and not the pillars of what the party is supposed to be. Because none of this stuff that we see them executing around, well, I shouldn't say none of it, much of what we see being executed around is not to the benefit of the constituency. It's to the benefit of a few and not all. When you serve the nation in a position, once you are an elected official, you serve all, not just Republicans, not just black people, not just white people. You serve all. And so you have to look at every people group, including black people, and see what are you doing to service this group. So if you're going to service Asian people with their own legislation, then it should be a non sequitur that the same thing happens for black people. So I understand that feeling that, hey, no, this is completely unequal, and it is.
Well,
so that's why I say we have to get back to the freedom, opportunity, growth, and progress.
Well, that doesn't have a skin color, does it? Freedom, opportunity, and growth.
No, it doesn't. But if you were operating under that, then these other things that you just mentioned, us giving
I don't want to be
a named act for each of those underserved or oppressed groups, then we would fall into that as well.
So I'm going to talk. Let's talk about the oppressed.
I don't want to say underserved because every black person is an underserved.
So let's talk about
but there is discrimination, and you're talking about discrimination.
Well, let's talk about that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You and I were talking about that this morning, right? We were getting ready for the show, right? We were saying, hey, opportunity discriminated, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you look at our neighborhood, go out, I don't think anyone on our cul-de-sac is discriminating against us, right?
Okay.
I don't think anybody.
I did not say
I know you didn't say
every
that.
moment.
We were talking
I didn't
about
say
it, right?
You and me, fool.
Well, okay.
There are things that we experience also. It's just at a different level.
Okay, so we talk about, so these are real conversations, right? There is an answer to this. This is the conversation that we're having. We're saying, why are so many people not voting for Joe Biden, or they feel abandoned by Joe Biden?
Well, and if you look at, no, not in our neighborhood, but in urban neighborhoods are still in the same shape that they've been in. Bad shape.
Okay.
They don't have the economic development.
We have friends and family members who are still there, right?
Yeah, and the economic development is not there. Okay. It's not there. So I understand exactly what people are saying. That you're going to be disenfranchised when you're told decade after decade that we're administration after administration.
But don't you think that if you continue to vote for one party though and only participate with one party, you're in, for lack of a better word, you're like a 3 a.m. booty call. I'm only going to come around,
Lord.
And when I want your vote, anytime after that, we'll just move on. And I don't think it's enough to not vote and say that's what we're going to do. We're not going to vote, right? I think you have to swing your vote to the other party and say, hey, I'm upset enough to where I'm not going to vote for you. I'm going to vote for the other team, right? But nobody wants to say that. They want to say, I'm just not going to vote, right? I'm saying, no, let's just not vote, but let's vote for the other party and let's get involved with the other party, right? You know what I want to see? I want to see this. I want to see a headline on I want to see this. What can the Democratic Party do to get back the black vote?
Okay,
that's what I want to see. And the only way you do that, we got to roll with the other party. We got to roll Team Red.
Well, I'm going to tell you this because you're an interesting view, which is very negative, and I don't roll on the negative side. I roll with the positive.
So let's do that.
And here's why I think people should engage with the Republican Party.
All right.
And that is because if all of your eggs are in one basket, then the moment that Republicans are in power, you're not hurt. And that's what we saw.
So why should we hear you, right?
During
That's
the Trump
question.
administration.
So why should we hear you? Why shouldn't we just continue to put out the perceived to be, that's not perceived. A lot of the stuff you get on the mainstream media through Fox News, through the different networks is racist. It uses racist tropes.
Then how are you going to change those racist tropes if nobody that looks like you is there to dialogue with the people who are putting that forward?
In large number, yeah.
That's right. You have to go in. You have to go into the lion's den, and you have to be willing to stand up for what you believe in. Mm-hmm. That to me, that is the most powerful thing that we can do. It's not to stand over. You have to have people in the Democratic Party as well, but the Republican Party black people have to go in, and Asian people, black and Asian people, and Hispanic people who like being what they are.
I think more black people. Thing, I think when you have,
yes.
what is it, like 90% vote on a national level, I think we have to get involved with Team Red at the local level. I think that's not just my view. That's a very accurate view. In order to be appreciated on a political view, right? People have to see that you're willing to go to the other side, and that you simply won't go for the emotional bait. The emotional bait for us is always race, and I feel a tug whenever.
See, here's where we differ.
Okay,
it's not that you have to all go to the other side. It's that you have to be represented on both sides. So there has to be the black agenda, a black voice on both sides.
I say we need 75% of the black voting population here in Texas needs to be Republican. 75%, 80%. That way you are appreciated. That way it'll be, whoa, something just happened. That way we won't get all these people coming in trying to make me feel guilty because I voted red. That way we won't get all, and I'm not saying, and I'm going to say, we don't want people to be Candace Owens, Republican. I don't want you to be Larry Elder, Republican. I want you to be, I'm dropping names because when people think of a Republican or a black conservative, that's the face they get. No, I'm saying be one, that I realize that in my interactions, I am black first, right? And so that is my interaction. No matter what anyone tells me.
You like being black.
And I like being black. I like black culture. I like the things that go with it. So I am not a black person talking to white Republicans about the negatives of black community. But I am a black Republican talking to other black people, right, about why they should join the party and not on, don't worry about them, they're on the plantation.
And how we can improve our community economically through the system, through policy, through economic development.
Being a B1 Republican seeking for B1 allies who are moderate allies.
And who believe in freedom, opportunity, growth, and progress.
There we go.
There you go. That's the bottom line too. And everybody wants opportunity, growth, and progress. Everybody wants that. There's not a single American that does not want opportunity for their kids. There's not a single American that does not want growth for their community. And there's not a single American that doesn't want progress for the country.
So there you go. There you see the topic in the debate at our house. Well said, Ms. Jones-Smith.
And you've been listening to On the Record with Tiffany.
And Kevin.
I hope you I hope you got some information that made you want to think and do things differently. And to the families in Uvalde and to the Uvalde community, our hearts go out to you and our prayers are with you.